Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with a growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcasting, the home for indie podcasts and content creators.
I'm singing Mary, oh Mary, don't you weep. Telling Martha not to moan. Martha, don't you moan. Right.
There you go.
Welcome to Put Your Family First podcast. It is Monday, March the 23rd. Time flies when you're having fun, but it's slow when you're under the gun. It surely is, right? So today is a good day. Happy birthday to our brother Dave. Yeah. Dave just turned 46 last week. We're going to let him have it.
Oh, man. That's been in that youthful period.
Right, and so we're going to get into this conversation. First of all, I'm excited as things are happening and, looking forward to whoever is going to put that $1 million in for our conversation and for our movement to expand. We are going to do that. We launched the 1 Million Reasons Boys Matter campaign to raise $1 million. We got our first donation, so we just got 909,999, however you want to say it, but it's 999,930. And we're moving. And so, hello, Heather, how are you? Brother Dave?
Oh, I'm mighty fine.
We got my friend and brother here, the creative icon, Dr. Miles Dixon.
Yeah, thank you.
Right? And well, you know me, I'm gonna give them to you. I ain't gonna show up at the funeral and be like, "Here's my flowers."
Right, thank you.
No, you're gonna get them while you're here. So and so that's how I see you, and that's how it is, and that's the way things are for us. A great man once said, "Man cannot stand alone in his victory." Along the ways I would like to really express, because I'm in this space, that when I was a little boy, and I talk about this all the time, and I want to share this before we get into this conversation, that my mother used to say, "Stop philosophizing." Right? Take your philosophizing ass outside. Go play. Get away from me. You know what I mean? Get your ass from up under me. This is what my mother would say to her sons and her kids, right? Because she didn't want her kids to be up under her, right? And because of that, we had a different type of freedom. My mother wasn't afraid of this society. In fact, she didn't teach us hate. She didn't teach us, a lot of things, but she taught us tons of things. And one was, you don't have to be dependent on no one. Depend on yourself. Another one was, my mother used to stand us in front of the mirror and tell us we were handsome. And she would reiterate this, and she had these Aliisms. Today I call them quotes that God gave me, but she had Aliisms. My mother's name was Ali Bell Manning. And we often don't really understand how she was protected as a woman in this society. Well, one way she was protected, she had all these brothers. She had a father. She had uncles that she could go to and learn from and have conversation. So when we were coming up, we had neighbors. We had Sonny Man, Mr. Cecil. We had these men and women who poured knowledge into us. They didn't take from us. They poured knowledge into us. They encouraged us when we had jobs. When we went shoveling snow, they opened up their yard. And they encouraged us to be viable people, good human beings, always told us to do the right thing. Mr. Cecil had the construction company and lived in a 2-family flat. And Mr. Cecil, in between my house and my aunt's house, was this space on both sides. So he could, in my aunt's yard, which he was in the 2-family flat, he could put his cement, stir, those things. Right. I say that because I always, one thing I couldn't understand was my brain, and my brain was always in the problem solving. So when I was coming up, I was always giving advice, this wisdom. It came from 3-4 generations. So when we're talking about the boys matter and why we do this work and how people see you and what, your vision might not be for everybody, but when your vision reaches everybody, then they will then see the value. Excuse me.
Bless you.
So today, we're going to get into this 1 million connections for boys to men. Culture, 1 million connections for boys to men is an important way to close Women's Month history. We honor not only what women have accomplished, but the generational influence they carry. Today, we shift the lens to how women with intention shape the cultural connection that move boys into manhood. Which is why I started talking about my mother. I always wanted to do something so she can too. The design is really about my mother because she was a high influence, and it's something. And then I'm moving my story more because I'm going to tell her story. Because she was a mother. My mother was the mother of 7, but a mother of thousands, right? My mother helped prostitutes get off the street, shut her brother's pimp game down, the whole 9, and did this for people. I've witnessed my mother give when she didn't really have, right? Where it looked bleak. It was bleak for her and her kids. And I watched my mother still give to someone else. And literally 2 days later, she would be blessed. Wow. Right? I watched when we didn't, the house wasn't where in foreclosure or nothing like that. She handled her business even after being off the clock. Right. So I watched my mother when I grew up. We grew up around gambling parties, those things where the people from the plant would come to our house and we'd lock up our house for the weekend. And you could do that until the criminal changed. The criminal changed when they dumped the drugs into the community and the criminal increased into theft, right? So this story leads us into a place on why we want to scale Encourage Me, I'm Young nationally. Why? To be clear, we have a 98% parental involvement, Dave. So that means 98% of the time the parent is involved with the boy in our program when they bring them. We have the Reading is Life campaign. I called it the significant 7. These 7 things is what makes us, and that don't include everything that we've accomplished. But these 7 things makes us a national program. I said it. Not that I needed anybody else's approval, but when I decided that this is where we're going to go, I knew it was going to be some different type of work, because when you're talking about boys, as Benny Napoleon said, and men, our world, right, when it comes to black males, has a different lens for us. And so for me, I have a different lens for the beginning of us. Right? And so you're talking about Reading is Life, Emiy Future Leaders, the Pancake Breakfast, where we bring the whole community together to bring things into play.
Right.
Just for the community to share, to get some real information to make their households better. We have the Man-to-Man Youth Summit. The first one we did, we brought all these men together, the same men. The only one I would say is my man Otis Bellin, right? When me and Otis developed the 25,000 Males Mentor, we touched on it, right? When it was put together. I'm sure it's over 16 since. So this goes back on what we were able to accomplish. Then we have the not only the Man-to-Man Youth Summit, we have Emiy National Respect Day, which is in its 10th year, which is absolutely crazy, because this is the first time we will be hosting Respect Day on the actual day. Monday, April 6th, we're going to put on a show at Detroit School of Arts. And we're going to celebrate, and we're going to talk and uplift these kids, and we're going to surround these kids and merge them into a different mindset. And then we have, when we get into the other spectrums of it, we have
Smash Suicide.
The Smash Suicide campaign. That's number 7. Smash Suicide was developed because we saw boys 5 to 11 were number 1 dying by suicide. And we noticed that wasn't the case for us. We weren't losing them, we were building them. So they wouldn't have that mindset.
Right.
So that's what we're going to get into here today. Heather, you can jump in. Here's the truth. Women are not just part of the story. Women are the bridge to better connection. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, wow. I mean, it's so true. You can look at the circumstance from, a couple of different lenses. But today we want to focus, because of its closing out Women's History Month, we want to look at it from the lens of what women can do to help move this movement. Because without the type of support that we need from people who are organized, from people who are involved, from people who lead and are engaged in the work of society, the work of community, the work of family, it's very difficult to move and to create a movement that has momentum. And so we're reaching out today, not only celebrating women, but celebrating new reasons why, and to reinvigorate women and this movement and why they're important. And so I'm excited about this conversation. And then looking at it, because again, you can look at this from multiple lenses, just like women can look at men through multiple lenses. There's a question that lingers, and I think we've talked about this before, of where are all the good men? The question also remains, where are all the good women? And what are they doing to help create and support good men? And so these are some of the tools and opportunities that we have that women can plug into this movement. And so, again, I'm excited to have this conversation.
Well, let's get it.
All right.
Let's get out.
So this research shows that over 70% of boys' early socialization and developmental engagement is influenced by women. including mothers, grandmothers, teachers, and caregivers. This means that the emotional language, identity formation, and relational patterns of boys are largely shaped in female-led environments. And at the same time, 1 in 4 boys in America grows up without a father in the home, increases the reliance on women to help interpret masculinity, discipline, and emotional development. Boys are 2 to 3 times more likely than girls to be suspended or expelled, often due to misunderstood communication styles and behavioral expression. And by middle school, boys are significantly less likely to express emotions openly, yet more likely to struggle silently with mental health challenges, including depression and disengagement.
And I would say this is not a strike, but you're going to have to take it. I would say in the midst of all of this that you have been responsible as men and women as the position that our boys are in.
Mm-hmm.
The division and the decisions that impact a household, that when a child is born, how that child is conceived, and when that child is born, that I can detach myself in distance, and he never has enough access to his species. The very thing that a boy needs is a healthy man guiding him, his father. So for those who have been, those of us, because I'll include myself, who have been irresponsible with our seed, you have to find your way to cultivate the seed. Without your presence, cultivating the seed, it will rot. Dr. Heather?
Yeah.
Brother Dave, why you? Because I got it with that one.
She said, Yeah, there are a lot of contributing factors to whether or not the child will produce their maximum potential. And when we bring division into the home in some form, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically, truly the house can't stand solid. And unfortunately, what I note when we talk about this is that you can't give, as I always say, you can't give what you don't have, you can't do what you don't know. And usually when we're irresponsible in our seed planting and developing, then what happens to the plant? As the scripture would tell us, a person is known by the fruit they bear. But if the tree itself isn't rotted out, the tree itself is weakened, the tree itself does not have the nourishment needed to flourish and produce good fruit, then it would be unreasonable to expect that you will have a productive outcome with the child.
And, and part of what we are seeing is the shutdown. We are seeing the culture of boys and young men shift under the weight. And I'm saying under the weight, W-A-I-T, the delays under the weight, W-E-I-G-H-T, the heaviness. And so they have, there's a school of thought that speaks to the generations, and we had this discussion at Aru Kamara's discussion group yesterday at Mama Shoes at Avalon Village, and it was around culture, and that conversation really had a core message around what's happened from generation to generation, and how for what we have understood in our work with the boys and with Emiy over these 19 years is that the weight has created a new language, a new subculture and conversation that has shifted how our boys think, how they behave, how they communicate, and their ways of being. And it's so significant to understand that, because a lot of times what we do is we as adults, I'm saying, we revert back to our good old days, the way we were. And that is not the language of the boys that we're trying to reach. It doesn't have value until you actually build a relationship with them. If you lead with the way we were, if you lead with this is how we used to do and this is how we used to be, they've already shut down because it has no relevance to them, so they believe. And it won't until they value you, then they'll value your story. It's not the other way around. They don't value your story first before they value you. And so it's important that this language barrier, that the bridge is built over that barrier so that we can reach them and then we can teach them. You can't, and so this is, we're going to talk about this too today. This is what the Emiy way is about. It is about the bridge, and it is especially a good tool for those female-led environments. It's also good for our men because even our men are having some challenges reaching the boys without them understanding the boy. And so some things we know is part of a shared journey that boy to men have. The other part of it, because there's so much impact from female-led environments, they may not have the same opportunity to have that male investment. And if we don't build stronger bridges and we don't do it faster, they get further in isolation. And there are lots of things that will detract them from and pull them into a different type of culture. The more isolated they are, the more separate they feel, the more they feel unheard and no value. Those things draw them further away, and it makes the language barrier a more wide divide. And so this is what we're looking to discuss today.
Navigating boys and men places boys in the hands of women for 70% of their social and learning engagement. That's a bar in itself. That means women have the greatest opportunity to influence how boys see themselves, regulate emotions, and build respect for others. Studies show that boys with strong, positive adult relationships are 55% more likely to thrive emotionally and academically. But here's the gap. Many women are raising, teaching, and guiding boys without being taught how boys process language, respect, and identify differently. The key to impact, understanding his language while keeping positive male role models visible and active in his journey. It is the same thing, ladies, with a man. See, we'll say things in particular. We use terms to describe what our expectation is of a man. Right? So, Dave, we came up with a term that they put on shirts. It said, "Boy, bye." They put that on shirts, and under the same slogan was raising a son, and said they wanted a man. Now we can get jiggy with it, but when we talk about the expectation, you can't have those many negative irons and then have an expectation that I'm going to get a quality mate when I'm not even raising one. So I become dependent. The more time that he is, which is when I go back, boy, take your ass outside. Now, granted, when I went outside, we was outside. But today, as I said on PBS, if you give the boy the book and you give the girl the book, but we give the girl the book and we give the boy the game, because the boy says, I want I want. And because there's no interference in someone saying, hell no, you ain't getting no game. No, he don't need no game. When they're in two different households, I'm going to get him the game. How you going to tell me not to get him the game? Well, if you give him the game, you're going to park him. He's not going to develop. He physically going to be hurt. No matter all that stuff that you might be talking, you teaching him, physically he can't do push-ups. You concerned about when he go outside, so you go to the school and fight for him. Now you all the way masking him. You doing what you thought that the man should do, but then you say the man ain't no good, and the man say, well, she ain't no good, and the kid is left in the middle. Right? Women have the greatest opportunity to influence how boys sees themselves, regulate emotions, and build respect for others. The greatest opportunity in that is making sure that he has access to a quality mentor, male, grandfather, uncle, someone. For those who are willing to step up, because we're talking about the same males who came up under this environment, and we expect them to give back. I was raised by wolves. I say that all the time. Men raised me. My mother was a contributor. But I can go down the line and name them that raised me. Not loved me, adorned me, raised me. Right? Studies show that boys with strong, positive adult relationships are 55% more likely to thrive emotionally, academically. Listen, men who don't follow their seed will follow transgressions.
Ooh. Wow. Say that again for the people in the back.
Men who do not follow their seeds will follow transgressions. There's no question. You will suffer. It's if it's something wrong, you might want to ask. Search database. You might have a kid out there. I work on mine even more so every day of bringing them together. We have no choice in an environment where 80% of K-12 teachers are women. Reinforcing that boys are primarily learning within female-led communication systems. Yet research shows boys respond more positively to structured, purpose-driven, and respect-centered communication styles. This is what Heather was talking about when you talked about the Emiy way. There are stories of boys getting out of juveniles and becoming doctors. There are stories of boys who have gone on and made it to the other level, but never said thank you to the men that shaped them. They're starting to do more of that. But us as men, we have to get in the way, not get out the way. But we have to do it in a way that it's important for you not to fraternize in mentoring and helping that mother, because the boy then loses another male. When you fraternize with that mother.
What's fraternizing?
Dating, sleeping with her, bringing her in, and then dumping her again and treating her just like the next person. The boy sees it all. That's his second time. He lost a father. Maybe he never even had interaction, and you were the first thing that mimic a father. Brother Dave?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that, the value of the man in the home, the male in the home or in the community has diminished. Truthfully, if we look back on history, women have always had a significant input in the rearing of the boys.
Yes.
You go back to the biblical times, they didn't have cars to ride around and horses to ride on unless you had it like that, right? The cars didn't exist, but the horses and camels. So the father of the male was usually out of the household, out and, trying to prep, make sure the family is good to go. Well, if we watch through the generations in history, that hadn't changed very much. So the mother had a significant impact from the beginning. But what was true is the idealism of the man's presence. So you don't see God here, but we see it in the presence of ourselves. So if they said back in the day when we were growing up, and I'm sure even prior to that, I can go back through history and you can say, when your father gets home.
Yes.
See, just the idea of his existence was a contributing factor to the leading aspect. That my father is going to be the difference that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But as history has shown us as we move along, every generation trying to make it better for the next generation, not preparing, but putting in position of control when the children are not prepared to be in control. Because as you said, if I give the boy the game and I give the daughter the book, you're not preparing him to do what he needs to do to lead. You're putting him in a position where he steps back and he becomes more reserved, not engaged. Where when you have to sit down and read, you have to be engaged.
Yes.
So the daughter or the female child, if you will, she's engaged, and the boy is disengaged because he's just going on autopilot. It's important that we realize that everybody makes a contribution to the development of the child. And when you remove the primary lead in there, which is the father is supposed to lead, then left to the devices of the child themselves, they're going to utilize their skills, especially the boy, to, I hate to use it this way, but manipulate their mothers. And as they manipulate their mothers through emotion, not purpose-driven, not logic or rationality, but emotion, the boy becomes, for lack of a term, soft. And not just soft in the sense of his emotion, but mentally, physically, and spiritually as well. So it's important, as you say, for the planter of the seed to cultivate the seed. But if he's not there to cultivate the seed can't grow to its fullest potential.
Which means you can't yield good fruit. It's going to be tough. We have several types of parenting styles. Heather, you can jump in if you have something to add to that. But we have several different types of parenting styles. And again, here is why we're asking for your donations to raise the $1 million, because we know 10 cities right now that we've already done the research in that could use this program. Mm-hmm. We've already done the research. How amazing is that? We've already done the research. We know these 10 cities need exactly what we got. We already in one of the cities. Heather?
Well, I wanted to just interject that sometimes people don't know where to start. And so here's an easy tool to remember. This is the 10-10-10 rule. What the 10-10-10 rule is for parents, we're focusing on parents, and this is whether you're the mother, the grandmother, the father, the bonus dad. These are some tools that you can use. The first 10 minutes of the day, when you interact with the boy, and this works for the girls too, when you interact with them, give them 10 minutes of full attention. That's conversation, not criticism. Be mindful that criticism is a way to shut them down. This is a time where you can uplift them. So that first 10 minutes of the morning, we're saying, I hope you had a great good morning, and use their name, because we do often just say good morning without using a person's name. Now, building with boys requires you to use their name. There's a deep inner message and inner dialogue when a person is named and their name is spoken affectionately. It gives them a sense of belonging. So it's good morning, Calvin. Good morning, David. Good morning, Miles. It's a good morning. And I know you are going to have an awesome day because you're an awesome person. And and then start to explain what is awesome about them. Well, you're very thoughtful, you're creative, you follow directions, and this is whether they are always following directions, where they're always on time, where they're always on point. It doesn't matter. You are acknowledging that they are and that they do. you are finding and you're affirming those good things about them. And so it is, you're such a good big brother. I'm honored that you're my son. It is those types of affirmations and conversations that you want to have within those first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes of the morning. This is one of the ways that you can reprogram them. The second time that you see them and engage them, maybe it's after school. And it is, did you have a good day? Or I hope, I know that you had a good day, because you're a good person, so you're going to draw good things to you. You're going to say, I want you to have a moment to yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and let you, take that 10 minutes and then come back and tell me what you're thinking. Let's talk. Let's get into some conversation about your way of being today. What happened? What was exciting? What was your favorite part of today? With some enthusiasm, so that they understand and feel the excitement that you have with just being with them. And this, again, it has to be focused and uninterrupted. That's what you give them during the midday or the second time that you interact with them during the day after some activity has happened in their day. And then finally, as you're closing the day, the last 10 minutes that you're going to give to them, you're going to give to them prayers of praise. You're going to give them prayers of hope. You're going to pour into them what you want their tomorrow to look like. You're going to have a great rest so that you can get up tomorrow and start a new day, because tomorrow is a reset. It's different from today. You have a chance. You get a do-over tomorrow. You can do something new. You can make new choices. You don't have to do the thing that you did today, or you can make it a better day than it was today. That's what you pour into them before they go to bed, so that they have those closing remarks, so that they have that subconscious connection, not only to you. And again, your enthusiasm in speaking with them is going to be extremely helpful. They need for somebody to be excited to be with them, to be excited to talk to them. In spite of what their days look like, you can open it, you can affirm it, and you can close it with power and purpose. And just 10 minutes. That's the 10-10-10 rule that we can use. That is for our children, grandchildren. If you're working with kids, it's another positive way to use it. It is a positive tool on this journey.
Thank you. It's number 3. 1 Million Reasons Boys Matter campaign. I decided that it was time to go to the next level. We've accomplished a lot on this level. We've given this level 19 years, but we have to position Encourage Me, I'm Young, Inc. into a place that next to any of the big organizations. There are a number of things that we bring to the table that changes the way that we see boys and men and family. We've taken it from a different structure, if you will, a different position. So this campaign highlights how Emy's Significant 7 programs are impacting boys ages 8 to 24. With women as key allies, we can continue to build. Now, the Significant 7 does not even include, right, the moms. That whole boss session, it's not even in the 7. But that boss session is very significant. So this includes Man-to-Man Youth Summit, Community Pancake Breakfast, Reading is Life, Smash Suicide Campaign, Emmy Future Leaders, Boys 8 to 24, Emmy National Respect Day with a 98% parental involvement. And the need is urgent. It's urgent because when our boys don't or can't take the word no, parenting has failed them. Mm-hmm. When our boys can't go into a classroom and pick up a book and read, parenting has failed them. And it takes two to have, so it takes two to raise, plus the village. The outcome for the young boys is so important. Young men 18 to 24 have one of the highest rates of disconnection from education, employment, and mentorship. Why is that, they ask? Well, let's start at the video gaming. Right? When a child has a tablet or anything by the age of 4 or higher, during that time, the development of that child is in jeopardy. So the cognitive position of a boy is being hammered when he has access to the video gaming and the telephone early. His brain development is already, right, a subject. But we're going to give him a video game, and then we will what we were given to the parent and the process, these very things that happen to him. I lost track for a second, but my point is that here's another one. Nearly 60% of young men report lacking consistent mentor or role models. Boys who lack structured support are significantly more at risk in incarceration, unemployment, and emotional isolation. You have to teach your sons no. Mm-hmm. That's a huge one.
Yeah, one of the things that with the 10-10-10 rule, especially when it comes down to boys disengaging, is that in that, as Dr. Heather presented, was that this is all about engagement. This is all about investment. It's all about showing value. And anything that we value, we invest in. But when you give someone something to disconnect, such as the video games, and I don't want to just beat them up in that whole gaming world, but it causes that young man to disengage. And you can see the significance of that impact even when women get involved in it, because it makes you and puts you in a position to disconnect and not be engaged in everyday life interaction, people, places, and things. You're just into the thing. So you need to know, we need to let children know they are valued, they are appreciated, they are loved. Now, I was sitting here thinking as she was mentioning those 3 areas for the 10-10-10 rule, what if you started with a child that way right out the gate? But most of the time that doesn't happen. So by the time the child goes to school, if you're constantly showing them their faults, their character flaws and things of this nature, when they get to school and then it's reiterated by their peers because they don't have the external presentation that is acceptable, this child looks for a way of escape. Well, if I can go on the video game and become superhero, be the dominant person, be the man, if you will, then I'd rather go into that world than to deal with the real world that's always taken away from me. So it's so important for us to invest in the boys, because technically they are supposed to be developed to lead. If I'm encouraging the child, I'm speaking his name because every name has a meaning behind it. Such as my name means be loved. That says I'm loved, right? So if I already know that I'm loved and then my parents are showing me love, and all the other people that I can filter out to, I know love me or care about me and show value to me, I'm more prone to feel that I can accomplish anything. But if everything is pointed at my flaws and I need a way of escape, and we do that even as full-fledged adults, that is probably, I'm going to go to the weakest link because that's going to help me feel the strongest in my walk. And that's a disservice to the development of our young men. So education doesn't become important because, as Calvin opened up, one gets the book, one gets the game. So education doesn't have its value. I'm impatient to study, to read, to develop. I'm more prone to want to look for to be entertained versus being invested in the work that's required as we walk this journey. So there's so many key aspects that we are missing right out the gate with our children. But I go back again. Either parent, the father or the mother, if they don't have a strong foundation of who they are, how are they going to help their children to be who they need to be? How is that going to happen?
That's true.
Dr. Heather?
Well, when women are engaged as allies, boys are more likely to stay in school, develop emotional intelligence, and build healthy relationships. Community sees reduced violence, increased family stability, and stronger generational outcomes. The goal of scaling Emiy with this 1 Million Reasons campaign from local to national is because one boy supported changes a family, but 1 million boys supported changes a culture. And so we need to make sure that we're not just changing the immediate environment, but that has a ripple effect outward so that we see the mass change and we start to build a society that has a lot more value because the people in it have a sense of identity, meaning, and purpose. And so I think this is one of the important reasons to bring women into this journey and this body of work too, because women are already taking leadership. What we can't leave behind is how we are engaging our boys and our men. And so this is an opportunity, and it creates a platform for that momentum to continue. And so this is for navigating boys and men. It's a webinar that I offer every second Sunday of the month at 7:00. So it is for women who need to be positioned to receive a good man, but also to impact the journey of raising one. And so part of this process is that we get to help build healthier relationships with men. Together, we understand the developmental journey from boy to man. And as women, we prepare ourselves to recognize how to receive healthy partnership and how to be in a healthy partnership. So it's really a opportunity and a mindset shift. It's a resource builder, and it's also a way to reorient the real power that you have in your feminine and your sacred feminine. And so it's an opportunity for us to do that with some enthusiasm, with some excitement about who we are, our identity, and how we can navigate the ebb and flows of some of the things that we have experienced that have helped us to believe one way or the other, but also to reestablish and challenge our old beliefs and our old ways of being into this new way of being, that there is potential there.
So, Miles, if you could put up the Cash App.
Oh, no.
So, again, we're going to be having this conversation. We're going to get this done. And what's funny is I know that we're going to get this done. Mm-hmm. And in 2004, when I started laying shirts where kids was getting killed, I saw the problem. Mm-hmm. 2007, a mother blesses me with this nonprofit. Mm-hmm. 2010, I see the problem. We started grabbing more boys, and we kept grabbing boys. And as the process went along, here we are. So we're asking you for a donation, and we're asking you to share it. So far, a couple of people have shared the flyer. It's on my page, Calvin T. Mann. It's tagged by 2 people so far. And I know it's not gonna all come from the community, but I know it's someone out there who understands what is really happening, and that's going to contribute on a massive level for this to happen. And as I said, we already have 10 cities that we can move into and start. I've already gone to Alabama, Birmingham, right? I've already been to Baltimore. So I know people in Baltimore that are already doing great work around mentoring, could use another hand in family restoration, right? There are several other cities that is one of them. Victor's hometown, Puerto Rico, was one of the 10 cities. Not because Victor was on, because it was just one of the cities, and it was an aha moment. I keep forgetting Victor is Puerto Rican, you know, and always have, you know, the girl used to drive the girls with the curls, with the curls. He bald headed now, like the rest of us. But back in the day, he could get them with the curls.
Curls for the girls.
The curls for the girls. Anyway, we're asking for your help to share the whole nine, but the main reason is because we know we have these outcomes. We know that we can improve the boy. We know that we can help improve the family. We know from a fatherhood standpoint the important piece about the mentors being fathers. We know that we can improve literacy for the boys. And we're talking all boys. All. Pink, blue, orange, white, black, yellow, green, whatever you want to call them. All of these boys are in trouble. And this goes out to everyone playing a divisional game. All of these boys are in trouble. And if you think for a second that somehow your son is not in trouble, that's when you find out he's in trouble. Right? And so that's where we're asking for your support. The Emiy Way, which we are going to continue to bring to the people, it, as Heather said, to build bridges for parents. It's also a certification program. So you can get certified, mom, dad, in this skill set and how you do your parenting. We think it's important that you get them. People always say, well, parenting never comes with a model. Well, it's coming with a certification. We didn't get what they say. Parenting didn't come with a book. Well, we got that. We put it in a book, and it's a certification. And Heather and myself, we will amp this. We are amping this, but it's part of this 1 million draw. And so,
I like to think of it as a part of the culture that's being cultivated, using new tools. I think that's one of the parts of the value of the 19 years, part of the value of between Calvin and I, the 70 years of experience that we have. All of that is poured into a usable tool that is a mindset reset that, again, speaks the language of today's boy, enough to reach him, enough to connect with him, enough to help him to navigate the deeper waters that he is going to need support in as he becomes a man. And so it's not that it is a great need for women to be skilled in this, using this methodology, because a lot of us with those sons, and they're getting older and older and staying home longer and longer. And some of that is because we have not been able to speak a language that reaches them and meets them where they are, so that they can have that turnaround. And it's, and so we don't give up on them, give up on them and leave them in isolation. And we find, that these are some of the foundational developmental processes that are missed. Even though they're aging mentally, they may not be at a maturity to make some decisions. And so they need some intervention. And the Emiy Way is about intervention and prevention. And so this is what we can do together. And this is why we have engineered this process, not just to write a book, but to bring resource to community, to bring community change and restoration to our families. So you can still get a copy of the book. You can go to the webinar and learn the principles and practices, and you can also get one-on-one coaching. If you need coaching and you are ready to make this mindset shift, then let's do it. We can do that for a group of teachers. We can do that for a parent group. We can do that for a family. Maybe a family is having challenges and you need somebody to come in and help you navigate. That's why we're here.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. So, closing thoughts, Dr. Heather. What if the way you speak to a boy today becomes the way he speaks to a woman tomorrow? That is facts. It's happening. When you don't teach a boy no, he could become a rapist. A simple term of rejection. How do you handle rejection? How do you handle it?
Personally, how do I handle rejection?
Yes. Not you. I'm saying to the parent. How do you handle rejection?
Well, you know, and one of the opportunities that we have as parents is to recognize that what we may think is rejection from our boys toward us is really not rejection. It is a call to understand me, hear me, and sometimes we miss that. We think, oh, you're not listening. Oh, you're not paying attention. Oh, you're just lazy. Oh, you're just all the different things that we miss because this is the way they communicate is with their behavior. That's what they're showing us, and they're reaching out and calling to us, and we miss it because we don't speak the language.
Brother Dave?
Yeah, I think that's significant. But I wanted to point out some things here because a good portion of the challenges that I find women face when rearing the boys is because of their emotional connection. I truly believe that, again, emotions are designed for both male and female, but they're just displayed or regulated different. So I want to point out something because we kept using the word emotional intelligence. And I want to share the 4 points of it. Self-awareness, knowing what you are feeling and why. Self-regulation, managing your emotions instead of reaching impulsivity. Motivation, using emotion to stay focused and achieve goals. And empathy, understand how others feel. And social skill, handling relationships effectively. We talk about emotions a lot, but we don't have a breakdown. So the ability to express our emotions become very difficult because we don't have a solid foundation or meaning to it. Once we understand the first one, is self-awareness. Who are you? I was talking to one of my clients, 15 years old, and I kept saying, who are you? Nobody kept saying, I'm a baseball player. I said, yeah, but that's what you do. I said, who are you? He came back again, I'm a baseball player. I said, yeah, that's what you do. And I asked him the third time, and he said the same thing. I said, that's what you do. So his assignment this week is to define who you are and what you do and know the difference between the two. Because once you understand who you are, because who you are is always going to come out in what you do. But if you don't know who you are, then what you do can have a positive impact or a negative. So it's important that we understand the real meaning of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, well, there it is. And so, Dr. Heather, tell them where they can reach you. Well, Brother Dave, I'm sorry.
All right, you can reach me at the FMA for Men About Men on Facebook, and you can reach me at drom7@yahoo.com.
Dr. Heather?
You can reach me at yourinspiredjourney.com. You can reach me by phone at 313-759-7855.
And you can reach me at calvintman.com, but you can go over to emmyworld.com, click initiatives, and hit that 1 Million Reasons Boys Matter campaign. It's going down. Just to be clear, to all of you and those of you who come across this video who will see, everything I've said I was going to do got done. This will be no different. This is not cocky. This is not arrogance. This is because God gave me this vision. Knowing the things that we have been able to do and the people, just the story of Dave coming along, just the story of Victor. We were doing the fatherhood celebration walk in 2012, and Victor, out of nowhere, somebody told him to get in touch with me, brought him down. He got involved, got into the father. We shot a video because his 2 sons was missing. His 2 sons was missing. Right? The mother was running, doing all these things to prevent him from being a father. We located her in Mississippi. He submits for the child support. She rejects it. Years later, they pop up on Facebook, come into his Facebook page.
Who's they? The sons?
The sons. All these stories that had been told about this man. So I said, show him the video. So he pulled out the video from 2012 where he asked the world to help him find his kids. It's on YouTube. Then he come back, you show him the paperwork where she signed off. She didn't want the child support. Now, that DNA, his son's DNA is unguarded. It is no telling what those boys are going to do because his sons, that DNA, the architect of that seed is unguarded. My point to you and all, boys matter. My name is Dr. Calvin T. Mann, president and founder of Encourage Me, I'm Young. We're going national with everyone's contribution or without. God's got me and got us all. Peace.